All right, welcome everyone to today's activity. We are going to be doing some project management exercise. This exercise takes our project and breaks it up into tiny little pieces and helps us to plan out what we think are going to be the next 5 months of our project. We know what it is, we know what the target condition is. Now this is kind of like, okay, now let's think through what are the steps in order to achieve that project. What you want to put on your little note here, you're going to want to have one sticky note per task. The task, you want to try to see if you can define how much time it will take. You want to start to list those out. Once you write it, then just stick it on the table for now. And then after you have them all written to what you think is your plan, then take the sticky notes and put them in order. Now the reason we're doing this together is because some of your projects may involve someone else. And so you may have a task that's owned by someone else and you go, oh, well that's going to be so-and-so, so I'm going to need their help on this. And you'll write their name and then you'll say, hey, just so you know, I got one on my side, I got one of these that you have your name on, so are you cool with that? All right, so we're going to do this over the next probably 10 minutes or so, get a feel for how it's going, and then we'll stop and we'll talk about how it went. So think about how you're improving the system, moving and improving that metric from where it is to where it needs to be. You want to try to think about the tasks that are totally involved in this project. Don't worry about going in order yet. That comes next. These tasks should only be associated with your target condition, helping the target condition reach that objective. Is everyone feeling pretty good with what they've got so far?
Yep.
Ready to take the next step? So now what you do is you grab one of these little guys and you write the month. You've got 5 months. Now give yourself a little bit of space. Obviously starting with April on the left. Try to space it out a little bit. Okay, now when you put these in order, you're going to want to determine what is the critical path and what is the secondary path. So the critical path is the thing you have to do before the next thing can happen. So what is the very first critical path task? Grab that one and put it under April. Hopefully it goes under April.
So are we putting it where we think that task is going to be completed or where we think that task should start?
Where it starts. And then if you said it's going to be a month, and if you put it under April, then theoretically that task will be done in May. So if the next task is going to come in after it, then it pushes it into May. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, now look at your critical path after you've got everything in order. Look at your critical path and look at the total time and then figure out what is the very last day of the stacked up time. Where does that land for you? Where does your last critical path, after you've added all the time together, where does that land for you? And then put the date, roughly estimate the date within your 5-month period that lands.
That'll be complete.
That the critical path will be complete. Yeah, the very last task of the critical path. Okay, does everyone have that done?
I don't think so. Maybe?
Okay, so where are you landing at the very end of your critical path? Now, does anyone have any dependencies on someone else within this team or outside the team?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Okay, and you've written their names on there?
Well, just the teams, yeah. Well, I do have one name, Heather Hunter, and then the award designers.
Okay.
Those are people I need to meet with to find
Okay.
some things.
Yeah, great.
Mine's dependent on meeting with them to get information, but not like, they don't have to do anything.
Exactly. Mine too.
All right. Ray, what about you?
I mean, mine's pretty well laid out till August. For me, potential well, so I'm gonna kind of discuss with Wendy on mold making to see how much overlap there is between like smaller spin cast mold making and larger trophy mold making for like mold casting or casting equipment. Determining those suppliers will be part of this the strategy period, and then I'll probably have some wait times based on their lead times, but
Okay.
those are unknowns right now.
Good. Okay. Percentage. Yeah, talk more about that.
Convert it up to 10% or 10% vinyl to DTF. Convert
Oh,
up
I
to
see.
20% vinyl, you know,
Okay. So it's like
to the
a
20% mark.
it's like a portion of the work you're
Yeah.
hoping to have
I did the
done
same
by that
thing
point.
with the first spreadsheet, 25%, 50%, 75, 100.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, that's a cool way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know that you'll have more work later on with that conversion, but you're just saying, hey, hopefully by this point we'll have this percentage complete. Yeah, that's a really good way to do it. Yeah, sometimes we're in a position of influence where we have in our minds where we're hoping to be by a certain date, and then we're kind of helping the conversation along with that group, say, hey, be great if we focused on this, and if we could get it done by this date, I feel like we would be on track as a group, and it gives also them something to latch onto as well. So, because if they haven't gone through this exercise, they don't know where you are 10 tickets down the line, for August. They're just thinking, well, this overall thing I'm hoping to be by this point, but they don't know how they're going to get there. Yeah, I had a very similar situation to partially Henry, where I have a main flow, but then I also have this secondary flow, and it's in my statement. So I've got this SAP work, but then I also have this new pricing model work, and so the pricing model work can be kind of fluid. It can kind of move around, and it's not tied to this other flow. Well, great. This is a really helpful practice, and I encourage all of you to take a picture of your layout here and then go back to your JIRA and fill out your tickets. And this hopefully will give you a boost. Make sure to drag the ticket over top of your Epic so there's a tie-in, and then your Epic will see all these tasks that are loaded here, have the same due dates. You can use the Gantt as well to help organize yourself.